chiropractor here in Melbourne, Australia, and I'm also an expert on the influence literature. The influence literature is research that is done by psychologists, marketers, neuroscientists, and behavioural economists, and it looks to answer the question, why do people do what they do, and why do they believe what they believe? Why do they buy the things that they buy, and how can we influence them to make better choices, to live healthier, happier, more active lives? So today's communication tip is the 6th in a series of 7, and it relates a lot to the very first tip. Now, the first tip gave you 3 suggestions on things that you could do to get world class as a communicator, and today sort of adds one more to that. If you want to be really world class as a communicator, it helps to really understand the code that makes people make those decisions, and it's the influence literature which will give you the most in-depth understanding of the way that code works. So the communication intensive workshop that we run takes you through a whole lot of the principles that are based on that, but all of it comes from books, and if you want to really immerse yourself in this understanding and better understand how to change the way people think about things, I'd highly recommend that you give yourself a holiday gift this season and make it something that's going to make your 2016 great. One of the books from the influence literature. So there are literally hundreds of books in this area. I'm just going to highlight a couple that would be the first picks for me. The number one is the very first book in the influence literature. It's called Influence. It's written by Robert Cialdini. He's the godfather of the influence literature. I love this book. It sets up a framework for why people decide the things that they do. It talks about many of the key principles in the influence literature. Absolute gold, highly recommend it. Another book that's a more recent publication is To Sell is Human by Daniel Pink. Daniel Pink again writes in quite an academic way, but it's fairly easy reading, and his fundamental idea in that is that everything, if we're wanting to influence somebody to change their behaviour, we're selling. And then he goes through all the principles based on state-of-the-art research in the ways that we can influence people. So again, phenomenal book to make you move ahead in your communication skills. Another book that's sort of similar is one called Made to Stick by Dan and Chip Heath. Made to Stick, the reference there is, well, why do some ideas stick and gain traction in the sort of the consciousness of our communities, and other ideas just don't seem to be as sticky? And they go through really almost a formula for what the things that an idea needs to have to make it stickier and something that's more likely to create momentum within a community. So another great book. And the last one that I want to feature is a book called Biology. Biology is by Martin Lindstrom. He's a internationally renowned marketer. He's based in Australia, but he's originally from Norway, done a lot of work in the US, so he has quite a global perspective. And this book is really interesting because it focuses a lot on the neuroscientific research. It looks at brain imaging studies to get a better understanding of why people buy the things they buy. And it also kills a lot of the sacred cows that we've traditionally thought were the ways that we should go about persuading. So incredibly important insights in biology if you want to be a better communicator and grow your practice in 2016. So I'd love for you, if this is the sort of stuff that you're engaged with, we're going to dive really deep into it in the communication intensive. It's on January the 23rd in Orange County. Details will follow immediately after this video. Happy holidays to you all, and thank you.